Hello, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you're signing in from, please share this out. I have Melody Yazdani, oh my goodness, Yazdani on the show today, and she is a renowned portrait photographer, entrepreneur, and an advocate for women's empowerment based in Vienna, Virginia. She is a creative entrepreneur, a celebrated photographer whose work is beautifully blends artistry and science to capture the authentic human connection. She's the founder of the Melody Yazdani Studios in Vienna, Virginia, and she's built an award-winning brand known for its emotional portraiture and timeless storytelling. Her studio specializes in crafting full-service portrait experiences, from empowering modern makeovers to professional headshots and legacy wall art, each designed to reveal the true essence of her clients, possibly you in the future. I don't know if you notice on my ads that come out in the flyers, that headshot I use. Yes, it was done by the incredible Melody. She is amazing, and she's really, really fun to work with. It's an experience. Please join me in welcoming the brilliant, the inspiring Melody Yazdani. Woohoo!
Hi, thank you. My cheeks already hurt from smiling so much from that intro. So thank you. Thank you so much for that.
Welcome. I'm so pleased that you're here. So where should we start? What moment made you realize that photography could blend art and science to reveal someone's true essence?
That's a great question. It was a little bit of a roundabout path. I was a pre-med chemistry major. I studied chemistry, in Arkansas, and I had no creative outlet. And then I bought a camera with my excess scholarship money. And it was kind of like the creative floodgates just exploded, right? Especially everything had been math and science. And I started pulling my classmates into my dorm room. I would put a bed sheet on the wall and I would light it with my little desk lamp. And we would just photograph these portraits. One of the first inspirations is a photographer named Julia Margaret Cameron. Probably you're not familiar unless you're a photography buff, but she would do these absolutely stunning portraits that were just naturally lit. And this was back in the days of like large format film. So people had to be very, very still. Beautiful. And something just spoke to me. It was always people. It wasn't photography. It was people. And then as I started the business, my life was evolving. I had gotten married. I was having my children, and I was discovering how beautiful each phase of life was. And so kind of as my path wandered, it really was always the story of women. It was never men. Men are amazing. I will absolutely photograph you, but it was the story of women. It was them going through pregnancy, them discovering their new bodies after they had children, the new relationship with their children, and then also the romance with their partner, which hopefully was still alive. And then rediscovering themselves in a boudoir session. It was always like that piece and women's stories. So what really clinched it, though, was that I started a project photographing 50 women over the age of 50. And I've done it twice now. So we've had over 100 women be part of these projects. And at the time I was in my 20s and I thought, you know what, I'll photograph these women. They're going to have it all figured out. They're in their 50s. Their children are probably almost grown. Like they've got it. It's a lock, right? And I found that women would sit down in the chair to have hair and makeup done, and they would start to complain. They would say, can you make my nose look smaller? Or you're gonna make me look thinner, right? Or can you minimize my wrinkles? And it was kind of shocking that it was every day. It was every woman. They would sit down and complain. And I learned that there isn't a time in our lives that we finally go, oh, this is enough. Yeah, I've arrived. I'm here. I can just be proud and take up space, right? Exactly. And it really became my mission to help women do that, to help them in this moment, not 10 pounds from now, not 10 years ago, but right now, to say, you know what, actually these lines I have from all the time I've been laughing, I'm going to own it. right? That I don't have to change anything and I could just embrace it. So it was the women. It was the women in front of my camera that really inspired it.
Beautiful, beautiful. And as I mentioned, in case you missed my headshots, these were done. Yes, they were by this wonderful, fabulous photographer friend sitting right in front of us. And Eric's going to pop them up just in case you didn't see them before. They are my favorite ones, and they're currently across all of my platforms except for one that I met, and they won't give me permission to change my picture. Maybe I didn't focus on doing it enough yet, but they're on my IMDb page and on all the ads, and I use it as my headshot. And guess what, guys? If you get a professional picture showing your essence, it works.
Mhm. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And yours are some of my favorites, I have to say. Like you brought emotion and character, and it was really fun having someone that had some experience acting and could pull that up. That was really, really cool.
Oh, thank you. It was delightful. I can't wait to do it again because I've changed so much. I'm even better now.
Yes. Yes.
So you built a new studio at 303C Mill Street, Northeast Vienna, Virginia. And that opened up all sorts of new avenues of creativity for yourself and others because you keep hiring people. How does that state of world technology and space and shape your clients' experiences and also your new venture?
So, also a great question. This is going to be amazing. So we moved into a 4,000 square foot space from our previous 1,200 square foot space. And the biggest thing is that, so it's here, it's all around me. I was able to put in chandeliers and to build spaces specifically to create the ambiance that we really wanted people to walk into, both for our photography studio, but we also use it as a dance hall. So we have a secondary use for my passion project of Argentine tango. And we have since started a school for Argentine tango where we teach people how to dance, and then we host tango events here in Vienna, Virginia. And that is very much a labor of love. It's a little bit that our studio moonlights as a dance hall, if you will. But then for photography, we now have this beautiful dedicated space for our absurd wardrobe. I have to call it, you've seen it, I have to call it what it is. It's absurd.
It's fabulous. If you don't have it, she does.
Yes. Yeah.
And whatever size you need. From here to here, you're covered. You are a woman and she's got you.
Yes, we have the red carpet dresses. We have the lingerie for boudoir. We have something simpler for people that want very sleek and sophisticated. But now we also have sets set up. So before we had to change the set every single time. And when we're photographing for 3 hours, that might be 4 different sets. And it was very time intensive, but it takes time away from shooting. So now they're set up at all times. We have different bays with different backdrops and different styles of lighting. So really we're able to accomplish a lot more than we were able to accomplish before. And then we brought on 2 more photographers. So we now have a team of 5 photographers shooting, and then more support staff behind the scenes to make sure that everybody has a great experience.
And it is phenomenal. I can't wait to try out the new studio. I shot in the old studio on Church Street, which was lovely and quaint and had adorable little shops around there. And every single shopkeeper knew her and her business. And many of them had put her flyers up or whatever she was doing. They were so supportive. I'm sure they still are. Eric, why don't you put up that picture of me collecting my picture of Bolt and I. Here's the new studio. You can talk to it. Here it is before it's got all glam, I think.
Yeah, so we have, and you can kind of see it in the back on the right, that's called a cyc wall. So that was one of the big things we put in. It's the white wall. And if you've ever seen one of those rooms that just looks like there are no corners, right? That's the kind of space we created there. And then we're standing on the dance floor where we dance. And yes, it has changed even more. If I could, I'll send you a picture so maybe you can share, but it's even more decked out now.
I bet. She's got exquisite taste, ladies and gentlemen, exquisite taste. She has done, tell everyone some of the big headshot people that you've done their headshots for, and how about families creating a legacy wall of art? What's that story of seeing their portrait collection come alive on their walls?
Yes, absolutely. So I really focus on legacy portraiture. That printed portrait is what gives me most satisfaction. I know you have a gorgeous that one that was just showing of you and Bolt on the wall. That is what brings me so much joy. But we do also do headshots for the more utilitarian, like that need, professional need to get the next job. I've done the CEO portraits for a lot of different organizations. Including Out and Equal, which is an organization that helps the LGBTQ community have protections in the workplace. A lot of law firms, this is Washington, D.C., and a lot of just incredible people. One of them was, she was a political refugee here, and she started the Tahrir Institute for Peace in the Middle East, Nancy O'Kale, which her story is absolutely amazing, that she was exiled from Egypt for standing up for human rights in Egypt. So very classic DC story, that incredible people, we just happen upon them, right? And I'm just honored to be able to serve them here in the studio. But I will say the ones that really get me are when, like, we just had a family come in a couple months ago because their dog was terminally ill and was going to be put down at the end of the weekend. And, they really just wanted to get in one last portrait with him. So we were able to do that for them, and the kids especially. And, I will just never forget, early in my career, I had a client who really wanted portraits with her husband. She was also a photographer. So she scheduled the session, and the day came and he was just not feeling well. We didn't make it happen. So we did the portrait session of just her and her dog, and it was so beautiful. But I found out that he passed away just a couple of days later. And to have missed that opportunity to just document them one more time, that's really what drives me. So whether it's in our studio or not, I just encourage everybody to get in front of the camera, in front of your own cell phone, whatever it is, and document and make sure that you're capturing your life and that you're capturing the people that you care about.
For real. And it goes by so fast.
It does. It absolutely does.
And then you look back and you go, gosh, and I thought I was whatever there. And look at me now. I'm even better.
Yes. Yeah. Well, that's the thing, right? We always go, oh, you know what? I'm going to do XYZ. I'm going to get the portrait session. I'm going to do the boudoir shoot. I have to lose 10 pounds. I got to firm up this piece, or I got to, and then if you think about the way you felt about yourself 10 years ago or 20 years ago, you were saying the same thing. We were all saying the same thing, and what we wouldn't give to look like ourselves 10 or 20 years ago, right? So like right now, we'll just do it right now. We've actually been working, so we just closed applications on a project called the Unfiltered Project, which you are part of. And we will have an exhibit for this in the fall of 2026. We're in the recording phase for this. So each woman that was invited to come in for a session, they did a completely unretouched portrait session, unposed, unretouched. And I know for you, because you're a model, so you know the poses. I don't know if you remember, I was like, no, forget the poses. Forget the poses. No poses.
I know. And I'm better now. I want to redo.
Well, because the important part was, like, we're trying to show skin. We're trying to show, like, the folds and the way that we get lines and wrinkles, and to show the beauty in it. And the response has been incredible. We have had people come in to document the scars of their surgeries, to document the places that they really judged in the past that now they're finding acceptance in. And the entire project is about this. And then they come back and they read on camera a letter that they wrote to their younger self. So we've had these incredibly moving stories that we're videotaping, and we'll exhibit that in the fall of next year. So we've been working on this behind the scenes now for about a year, and I think we're finally ready to get it up and to have that exhibit. So I hope everybody will join us in the fall of next year.
Oh, absolutely. What a fabulous project. I'm so honored to be part of it. Oh my goodness, yes. And everyone, know that you're perfect right now, just the way you are. Just breathe and take that in for a moment, and then go get a photo of it.
Absolutely, yes. Yeah.
I was going to say, Eric, to put up something. What do we have there? I was thinking where you can reach.
Oh, where you can find us. So
yes.
yes.
So
You can,
there you can see, and she has pictures of men in there. There's that gentleman with all of the medals that always catches my eyes, because when my sister duties up, she can do that too.
oh yeah, absolutely. I love a military portrait. I absolutely love to like show their accomplishments. It's absolutely beautiful.
I don't know if I can get her over for that, but she just retired a year ago now, but it's actually not even a year officially. It's like 8 months, 9 months. Anyway, it was amazing. She's amazing. She's amazing. She needs a portrait. Her whole family needs a portrait. I have to get them to come in and figure out how to do that. So anyway, back to busy DC professionals needing headshots. How does a session help them step into a boardroom confidence?
Okay, so there's a couple of things here. So first, it's a first impression, right? Most of the time, the first time people see your face is going to be on LinkedIn, right? Or maybe social media, on a post if you're publishing articles. So that first impression is either going to make or break what they believe of you. And if you're putting up your cell phone picture in bad light, that's not professionally done. One, they can't see you, but you also don't project authority. So just the quality of the photo is important. So you need a professional portrait if you are trying to reach people in any way on social media. The other piece is your expression and your pose. There are a million things that we can say non-verbally with our body. And of course, you know this as an actor, is if I'm trying to portray confidence, I'm not going to shrink my body, right? And if you have a professional photographer that you've come to for headshots, they should pose you. They should also coach your expression. And the thing that they should be doing is helping you connect and stand confidently and securely in front of the camera. They should help you lean forward to the camera because your viewer wants to feel that they are engaged to you. And then they should help with the appropriate body language. So if you're in the C-suite, that means that you're taking up space and you are showing that you have authority in your subjects. If you are in a more customer service oriented role, then you should be softening that and showing both that you are an authority, but also that you are warm and approachable. So that means just bringing a little bit more of that smile into the eyes, softening your body language a little bit. But it shouldn't be, just this, or actually, sorry, this. It shouldn't be this, right? Everybody's seen, especially the realtor headshot. It should not be that because there isn't any time naturally in our lives that we would use that body language. If we're engaged and we're really paying attention to someone, we're going to slightly squint our eyes, we're going to take up a little space and we're going to lean forward to that person. And this is what your photographer should be pulling out of you. There's a third level. The third level is that most of us, unless we've been in front of the camera a lot, most of us are quite nervous and anxious once we get in front of the camera, and some more than others, but it's pretty common. Even though we carry cameras around all the time and take selfies, when somebody else picks it up, suddenly our body language does tense up and our shoulders start to rise. We start to lose this friendly affect in our eyes, and we start to just do that thing where we're not really smiling, right? So just deprogramming, bringing the tension out of our shoulders and getting that upward movement in the muscles of your cheeks and your eyes. And then yes, exactly. And if you're trying to show that you are authoritative and you're focused, or maybe you're trying to show you're forward thinking, then you want to also engage that lower eyelid. So just a hint of a squint in your lower eyelid is really going to give a lot in that portrait. So if your photographer is not posing you, I just gave you the recipe to do it, but it does help if you have a professional behind the camera that's coaching you through all of this as well.
So you guys might need to watch this again so you can take notes and practice, because
Yeah.
I actually heard that from the shot and I went, oh my goodness, I don't think I've done it recently.
Mm-hmm.
A little
Absolutely.
lifting the space. I went, oh yeah,
Yes.
light bulb moment, ding, ding. So for women wanting modern makeovers, what's the aha moment when they see their transformation?
So it's really interesting right now that we used to do a full makeover in the studio. We would do a lot of makeup. We were shooting with lower resolution cameras and our technology wasn't quite as advanced. And I'm talking 20 years ago, 19 years. I've been in the business 19 years. Now, though, we shoot with such high resolution that we prefer just micro adjustments on the makeup. So what I tell people is if they're doing their own makeup, to do more of a sheer foundation. We don't actually want to cover all the texture of the skin because we'll see that we've covered the texture of the skin. We really see all of that detail now, and you can actually see the product laying on the skin unless you have an absolutely phenomenal makeup artist. So what I recommend that you do is you mix your foundation in with your moisturizer instead, or you only spot correct with just a right corrective tone. So that means if you have red spots, you're going to put a slight green in there to neutralize the red, but you're not going to do it all over your whole face. You would only do little blemishes, or you can leave them because now AI can take out the blemishes in 2 seconds. And then we go back and we hand retouch the rest. So really the makeup, the important part is that you're defining your eyes, that you're paying attention to your eyelashes, you're individually defining them, and you're not using a very clumpy mascara because that will show up now. And that you're giving just a little extra definition in the waterline, or if you regularly wear like a winged eyeliner, that's okay. It's part of your look, but you just want that definition. Everything else should be relatively light because otherwise, if we do that heavy contouring we used to do in the, what is that, the 2010s maybe, it will show up, right? The point of that was to make our faces look like they were sculpted by good light. So instead, we say, ditch the makeup, we'll give you good light in the studio.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was a masterclass in makeup. And you have makeup artists available, correct? There.
We will do little touch-ups now, but we don't do full makeup now. But we do have a full list that we give out to all of our clients with recommendations. And what we're always looking for is someone that is going to go in with that lighter hand. And then if somebody wants to do it themselves, we'll give them the recommendation. The other thing that I didn't mention is we do still recommend a false lash, but our recommendations have changed. We used to recommend an over the lash that would go onto your actual eyelid, but now we have the technology that you can do a temporary undermounted cluster of lashes that looks very, very natural. So it just gives you a nice pop. Like Lashies is one brand, and I think Silly George is the other one we recommend. And those can go right underneath, and you would never know that someone is wearing those lashes, just that they have a nice little pop, a little definition right there. So, and otherwise we'll recommend a makeup artist for people to use before they come into the studio.
And should they have those in when they come in, or
Yeah.
do you do them there?
Yes. And if it needs a little adjustment, then we can always adjust. And if they need a tiny little touch up, we have a really cool machine that will scan their skin and spit out a foundation in exactly their shade, just so we can do a little spot correction that you really will not see in any of the portraits too.
Her studio really has it all, ladies and gentlemen. Check out her website. Drop it up there, Eric, please. So then when guiding outfit choices weeks in ahead, what's their favorite tip for helping clients feel their absolute best besides going to your wardrobe?
Okay, so aside from going to ours, or even if they're using ours, I always recommend, yes, everyone has like a power outfit, right? You have that one that you're like, oh, if I'm going for the most important job interview in the world, you pull that one out because you feel fabulous. I always recommend they bring that one. So that's number one. Then also the outfit that feels most like them. So, and this could be literally your sweatpants with holes in them. I don't care. But it really, it's your comfort, your fuzzy blanket. We want you to bring that here because we do want to capture people wherever they are in life. And that is a really important piece of it. And then to use any other outfits, whether it's your own outfits or ours in the studio, there are a couple of essentials like a skin colored bra. So as nude as it can be. And you could go one further and bring a sticky bra, the kind that, really sticks and just clasps. Those are really, really helpful because often we will have, an open shoulder, or maybe we have straps. And the one question we get asked is like, can we fix it in Photoshop? And I'm like, well, if we can fix it in person, we'll fix it in person first, and then we'll save our retoucher a little time on the back end. Spanx, if people feel more comfortable in Spanx. But that's if you feel more comfortable. If you are comfortable with your body, I don't think there's no need to go buy them. And then a slip if you want to wear something a little more sheer, because sometimes you can see under the studio lights a little bit more than you could see in person. So we try to keep that transparency or the thinness of fabric in mind. And aside from that, I always ask people, what 3 descriptive words would you want someone else to think when they view your portraits? And that's really our guiding star. So if you tell me, I want bold, friendly, and beautiful, then your outfits have to fall in line with this, right? If you tell me, oh, sexy and vivacious, or maybe I want to push the boundaries a little bit, then I probably would not say like, oh, show up in a button-down shirt and a pencil skirt, right? Although maybe there's a shoot for that, depending who you are. But definitely it's always about this guiding star. What are those 3 words? And what are we trying to portray? What story are we telling in your portraits? Because ultimately there is some kind of story that will come in people's mind when they view this portrait. So we're trying to guide them to that by all of the choices you're making ahead of time.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, has any photographer ever been this in depth with you? Think about it. Just think about it. In our digital age, do you believe printed portraits matter more than ever before?
Absolutely. Yes. So if you imagine how many photographs you see in a day, let's just say maybe you spend an hour scrolling, and we're going to be super conservative on that end. 1 hour scrolling. 1 hour scrolling, maybe you watch a show. Let's count that imagery as well, right? Maybe you pick up a magazine or a newspaper. It used to be that you would see few images each day because you just really had your newspaper, or maybe your magazine had come in, but we're inundated now. It's as you scroll, is it possible to count? I don't think so. Maybe somebody has done the math, but it is tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands on a weekly basis. And we are completely, it's spam at this point. Add in that we're starting to not be able to know if it's real or if it's AI, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to make a controversial statement, and I know it's controversial. For your headshot, I don't think it mostly doesn't matter if you use AI's help to do your headshot. I do see a world someday where large corporations will have their key employees photographed in 360, and then their brand imagery will be created by AI. I think that if we're not already there, we will be getting there. I think a CEO, it's still really important. I think for your own LinkedIn headshot to connect with people, it's really important. But I think for marketing generally, AI is going to take that over. But there is an area that AI will never be useful, and that is your own personal legacy. Like, you would have to have pretty serious confidence issues, I think, if you thought that an AI-generated portrait of your family had the same importance as an actual moment in time that you experienced with your family being present, right? So there's 2 pieces. There is the spam of all of the imagery, and then there's actually really beautiful key moments that we want to document, that we are the historians of. And I have families that I've photographed now for 19 years. Like, I've captured these children growing up. We truly are the historians, and we can all be the historians. But anything you capture with your phone, or even you pay a professional to create for you and to deliver digitally, eventually that's going to be digital dust or noise. You know, if you think about the way we delivered our digital imagery in the beginning, we had a CD of images. Well, now we don't even have a CD drive in our computer, right? And I'm still putting it together. I have a little floppy disk saved, and a hard disk saved, that I'm going to frame, and I'm going to put family pictures, 1995, right? So the way that we have stored these things has changed. And even our USB drives, I do still offer a USB drive, but in my own computers, I don't have a USB drive, right? So that format is going to change. The only thing that we will be left with are our printed portraits. So, and if you're getting them at CVS or Walgreens, you'll still have some kind of portrait. It's probably going to be pretty faded, and the colors will have changed. But you do want to invest in high quality professional artwork of those moments that are really valuable to you. And it's so hard to get people to understand, because when they really truly understand is when it's actually too late. They understand when somebody has passed away. That's when they get it. Or they understand when somebody has a new cancer diagnosis. And in that moment, it suddenly becomes too painful to even capture it sometimes, right? So
Right.
it's part of the driving force why I trick people into getting in for this portrait sometimes. I trick them into coming in, even our video services where we have them read these letters or a letter to their child. I'm like, oh yes, be part of my exhibit, because I know the value of that letter, because it today doesn't happen again. And I know in 5 years, it's priceless. In 10 years, it's even more priceless, right? Because the moment is completely gone. So we are very focused on digital everything. And I think it's to our detriment. And I think what we are printing, please do print your portraits, even if it's CVS, just, I don't care. Print the portraits, but then also invest in the things that you really truly treasure and have them printed professionally.
Jake agrees with you. He says, yep. And Dan Ottmeyer says, great information. Hello, gentlemen. Thank you for joining us. And Dan also has, differentiation requires genuineness. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Photographing in Northern Virginia's unique mix. How do local vibes influence your creative vision?
Oh, that's interesting. So we are so lucky right here.
Yeah.
If we ever start to feel burnt out, it's like a quick trip to the National Gallery of Art for inspiration, right? Which is like, to me, or the National Portrait Gallery, actually. To me, like, to see a painted portrait of the work that we do here before photography was even invented, that brings us back to what's really important. The other really interesting thing is, like, we have so many type A people in this industry. And I think you're a type A person here, Cynthia. I'm a little bit of a type A person, but we just have incredible people fill the studio constantly. And the really interesting thing is that people that are in charge of all of the rest of their lives, they get in front of the camera, and that type A-ness usually disappears. Usually they're, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do with my hands? Like, how should I stand? And like, I'm like, oh, I got you. We're going to pose you. We got that body language down, right? But that part is really fascinating. You never know if you can share someone's portrait, where we are. You never know if someone has a security detail that needs to come with them. So we have quite a few clients that we can't share for whatever reason, that they can't be seen publicly supporting individual businesses, or maybe it can't even be known that they live in this area, right? For security reasons. So that is very interesting. And we once had a client come in who the whole interaction had to happen in that day. And then part of the agreement was that all of the images just had to go after that interaction, which is fine. Our 87 terabyte drive is giving us warnings right now. So I'm like, okay, that's totally fine. We can make this decision and go. But that part of being in DC is absolutely fascinating. You never know who is calling you to pick up the phone. And no matter how powerful and important people are, still the thing that is mostly driving them is their families and their relationships and their connections. And that part is still what we focus on, while we still do the utilitarian thing of the headshot.
Seems like everyone should have you in their will too. So they go, upon my death, please go visit. Are you saving them all? Do you have I think I signed up for something to save them from my family. Yes. Yeah. Get those pictures. They're my death. Don't use one if I'm all, no, I'm not getting that.
Yes. The obituary portrait. Yes, absolutely. But I will say, like, it's hard for us to even think that far. It's hard for us to think of our own mortality. And unfortunately, it's like, when we have a loss, my brother-in-law passed very young. And it was when I was going through all of the photographs of our family, he was 19. So, the visual history was limited, but at that time, I picked up the camera every day. I was photographing my children every single day. I was photographing every family outing, because I just felt that I had to. I was compelled to do it. And because of that, I had so many beautiful memories of him. And in that moment, it is so terrible to lose someone, especially that young and in such a tragic way. But it crystallizes what's really important for you. It crystallizes like, oh, we have only today. We have only this life, and nothing else is guaranteed.
You only have this moment. Think about that when you open your eyes in the morning. So start it off knowing how perfect you are made. And even if you just take your breath, you're already having a perfect day.
Absolutely, yeah.
When clients want to feel empowered or glamorous, how do you uncover the emotion they truly crave?
Okay. So there are a couple of ways to do it. So the Superman pose is actually really important. And studies have shown that this actually does increase levels of, I think, cortisol and serotonin and like feel good confidence. So, I'm sure you've seen the article where it says, okay, stand in a Superman pose before you go into that interview. There are times if I'm getting from the body language that they're feeling quite insecure, we will start in that Superman pose. So my first thing is that I have people take up space. So that get some confidence. We're asking them to stop shrinking. We don't want closed body language. And then after they feel confident, then we will go into poses that are more statuesque. They're more influenced by like Greek and Roman sculpture, very Venus, if you will. And then in those poses, we will then put them into very classic poses, and we will ask them to touch. So that's a big piece of it. We're not saying put your hand here, right? We're saying, can you just touch right here? And we'll demonstrate that as well. So all of our staff is very, very intensely trained, 6 months of training on posing to teach them how to touch in a way that will come across. Because what we do when we like someone, or what we do when we're interested and we're at the bar and we're flirting, is we lean in and then we touch our hair, we give you get a little shoulder action, we do a little ha ha ha. So we have to help bring that body language out, right? So that's what we do. That's if they want to be glamorous, and it depends on their 3 words. If they're saying, okay, I want to be bold, we're going to give them bold poses, assertive poses. And if they're saying that they want to be glamorous and feminine, then we're going to put them into these more flirty, seductive, if you will, poses.
Yeah, nice. From your journey to founding the studio, what unexpected twists taught you the most about seeing people deeply?
Oh gosh. So shortly after I opened the location on Church Street, I had my daughter duo come in. And I think the daughter had gotten into an Ivy League school. This was her senior year. She was celebrating and doing senior portraits. And she was stunning, like beautiful hair, beautiful girl, like objectively just beautiful. And we were doing hair and makeup at the time. So she sat down in the chair. She was not complaining about herself at all. But her mother said, oh, well, can you make her nose look a little smaller? Could you just make her cheeks look a little less round? And in that same year, I had a 12-year-old girl, and the mother was like, oh, could we just make her cheeks look a little less round? So I was very shocked, and I'm not as shocked now. But I was shocked because I never received that kind of criticism or feedback from my own mother. She was always very much everything she ever had to say was I was so beautiful, and it was always uplifting. I don't have a single memory of her saying something negative or derogatory. But now I know through work and learning and research that we are carrying around the ideas and opinions of the people that have influenced us. So if my own mother had said these things to me, then chances are I might be saying these to my daughter. And it means that mother had those same concerns for herself, or she had heard her own mother or her father or somebody else that she cared for say those kinds of negative things to her, probably as a child, and she had internalized them. So now I know, okay, people are carrying around the ideas of everybody else, and I can't expect that everyone who walks into the studio has taken the time to do the work to say, is this my thought? Or is this my mother's? Is this my father's or my aunt's or my grandmother's? And is it true? Do I have to give that thought any validity at all? I think that was the biggest thing, as from a self-confidence, self-worth perspective. The other piece was that 19 years is a long time to have been working as a professional photographer. And as you can imagine, the industry has changed. I think I started when like digital cameras were first coming out, so the industry has changed. And then iPhones came out, and everybody has a camera in their pocket. And going through it, and not only still surviving as a photographer,
Right.
as right, but also growing. That we have this team. We have working photographers on our staff, that we are able to provide a living for multiple employees, having built this business, while everybody can be a photographer. Like I got a camera right here, right? Like everybody has a camera. So it's been fascinating to watch the landscape evolve, to change the way that we're doing business as the landscape has evolved, but also that as this digital noise that we just talked about has increased, and as this, especially now that we don't know if anything is AI or it's real or it's not real, that the value of real portraiture and creating our own history, visual history, the value of that has increased along with all of the digital noise. That part has been really interesting, and I think a lot about it, especially as we're thinking of where the industry is going to go, how AI will impact things. I spent a lot of time thinking about that.
I bet.
Yeah.
You redefine success through creativity and empathy.
Mm.
How does that show up in every client interaction?
That's a good question. So ultimately, what photographers do are reflecting back to you the things that you are thinking about yourselves, and being able to hone in on that is really, really important as a photographer. Like I mentioned, I have to be able to tell if somebody comes in and they are shrinking into themselves, or if they come in and their shoulders are standing up high. And I can't say to them, I think you're anxious, right? Because that's not going to get the right reaction. So that programming of the body and the body language, it's really fascinating that if you do that Superman pose, for example, you start to feel more confident. So by doing that and helping coach them into those same positions, I can immediately change the experience they're having. Especially when you have like a mom with children coming in. I have 4 children myself. And, let's say we have a 3-year-old come in the studio, and the 3-year-old is like, I got to run around this place 10, 15, 20 times before I can do anything. Usually mom is going, oh, this is going horribly, right? Just to be able to say to them, like, we expect this. This is totally fine. We are here to capture this kid in this moment, the way that they are. This is who they are right now. Let's not try to force them or you into some round hole. If right now you're actually square peg, let's actually photograph the square peg, right? So just giving them the validation that they don't have to change is really important. And you can't see, but I have right behind me above on the wall, some of our unfiltered portraits. So your portrait is going to go right up there too, as part of the Unfiltered series. And I do point out to people that these are not retouched. These are as they came out. This is people standing exactly in their own body, in their own space. And just to give them the validation and the space to do that, that can go a really long way in helping them improve their own confidence.
And I expect every person when they wake up tomorrow morning, after they say they're grateful for their breath and their heart and being here, to stand up and get in the Superman pose.
That's right.
Dun, dun, dun.
That's right. Exactly.
For multi-generational family portraits, how do you capture those fleeting connections so beautifully? Your pictures are exquisite. You guys, if you have your phones, jump on our website right now. Eric will put up the website again, and just be glancing through it. They are beautiful, beautiful. I don't even know how you choose which ones to put on.
It's hard. At this point, it's really, really hard. I'm a little bit like a goldfish. There will be a new one, and I'm like, oh, that one has to go. And right now, we have this huge stockpile of ones that I have set aside, and I have not updated the website in quite a while. But it all boils down to body language and just putting. So what you can't see in the portraits is that every single person is posed to the nines, and then we have coached their expression, right? So what I promise to people when they come in is that we're going to give you that flattering pose. We're going to put you into a pose that is going to de-emphasize the things that you have asked us to de-emphasize and emphasize the things that you would like us to emphasize. We do that first, and then we create a moment. So we can't just put you into the, let me put you into the pose and not have anything actually happening. So we have a series of prompts that are very natural to help create an actual genuine moment between people. And we kind of vacillate or oscillate between playing a little bit and capturing really beautiful candid moments, because I think that's when your personality comes out, and then getting you back into a pose. And then we go back to play, and then we go back into a pose. So we really get the best of both worlds. It's a little bit silly. It kind of takes people a little bit off guard, but it allows them, when they bring their guard down, to get those stressful signals out of their body. And it also allows mom to have a moment with her kids where she's not feeling, quite so on edge that the kid might be doing something that she didn't want them to do. Or sometimes we have a couple come in and we put them in very lovey poses. We're going to program that body language to look like they're absolutely in love, because I believe if they're walking in the studio for a couple's portrait, they must be absolutely in love, right?
Right.
And what's funny is that once we did this, and they look just stunning and beautiful and so connected, and at the end of the session, the wife said, we had the biggest fight on the way here, and now it doesn't even matter.
Oh.
Because we've kind of forced them into those moments. Imagine if you're fighting with somebody and all of a sudden you go, okay, no, we're just going to connect, and we're going to face each other, and we're going to touch each other. We're going to caress each other a little bit, and then we're going to just look at each other. It would break down. Unless it was something super egregious, it will start to break down, especially those things that are kind of frivolous. So it's body language. It's all body language.
Yeah. Oh, let's see. When helping clients choose that final artwork after all that's done, my mind went to, I wish I knew you when my son was when I was torturing him, to the photographer who used to come and, hi, Kevin, thanks for joining us. The photographer used to come to Nordstrom, right? Because I worked there, and it would be miserable. And if we had done that, I've got one, and I did it every year, so I have them. Yeah, and now I don't know what to do with those, and they were expensive too. What's the one helping customers choose that final artwork for their home? How do you ensure it fits perfectly with them? I know you did that for me, because it's kind of hard. All the pictures are fantastic. There's like maybe one that your eyes are closed or something, and all the other ones are like, oh, I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it. I don't even know how you help me get down to the ones.
So if we already have our 3 words, I'll try to focus on that. If it's individual person, then we really focus on like getting that gut reaction, because I think you can, if the whole time you're seeing the portraits, you're like, and it's hitting you, okay, then we have a little more work in store for us. But often it's like, oh, well, we get down to, let's say 50, and you're trying to do 40 or 35. Then we'll go by series. And when you start to lay things out together side by side, you can really see which ones are the low-hanging fruit and remove them. What I do for families, though, is I really try to help them focus on what they want for 10 years from now, not for today. It's nice to have a beautiful family portrait on the wall today, but isn't it nicer to see like the way that your child's nose crinkled when they were 4, right? Or even that silly thing that they used to do when they would point the camera, like those pieces of them that were that person at 4, that then they became 5 and they were no longer that person. That's what I try to get them to really zoom in on, because I think that tells their story more than anything else. So, I mean, obviously I want everybody to get tons of them because we feel so inspired photographing them. But I will, if they're like, oh, it's just one, it's absolutely just one portrait for the wall, then I will help them get there. And I will try to help keep their focus on not just today, but 10 years and 20 years from now.
I want to move over to your tango of life. Although I have about 20 more questions in this area, guys, you'll just have to go and experience Melody for yourself because it is heaven. The Tango of Life. So you co-founded the Tango School. So
Mhm.
she's so smart. She's already got her studio by day and she can have tango lessons by night. The Tango of Life speaks to your partnership with movement and the intimacy of dance. It mirrors the trust building in your photo session. So it kind of all works together. What life lesson has tango brought to you and reshaped how you direct a shoot, perhaps? Tell us all about the whole tango thing because it's amazing.
So I started dancing.
I've
Yeah.
seen her. She is fantastic. Oh my gosh. Oh, yeah. I was like, woo, I want to do that. I want those shoes.
Oh yeah, the shoes. I have, I don't know, 60 pairs. It's a bit of a problem. No, but okay. You will dance. You will dance. I know that you will. I started dancing Argentine tango about 12. I think I'm about to celebrate my 13-year anniversary.
Woohoo.
My husband dancing tango. And the thing with tango is that it's not a choreographed dance. And you know this because I know you tried a class, but it requires that you're just present. It is very much a mindfulness activity. And like, obviously, I didn't even know what mindfulness was 13 years ago, but it was, I guess, the closest thing that I could describe it as is if you do a really intensive yoga session, that quiet and that peace that you can get in an amazing yoga session in like 20 or 30 minutes, you get in the first 3 minutes, right? Because as a follower, we have to just be fully present, feeling what our leader is doing and listening fully to the music so that we can just move in that space. And it's kind of like a moving meditation. There are people who have written books about this actually, that you get into a state of flow. So it's a stress relief, it's a meditation, you're building a skill in something, you're moving your body, which is obviously amazing. For a long time, I just danced. I met my husband dancing. And then when I found this space, I could just see people dancing in it. It felt like it had to happen. So we started a monthly event. We went through the red tape of Vienna and we got our zoning and
congratulations. Yes,
yeah,
that's fabulous.
So we started dancing, and then it became obvious to us we have a large community in DC, but during COVID, this community started to atrophy a little bit, and we lost a lot of the teachers that were bringing new dancers in. So, as it does, especially in a transient area, our community was getting a little smaller. People would choose not to dance. They didn't come back to it. And at some point it felt like the universe was like, okay, you must teach tango now. You have to do this. You have to do it for the community. So we launched the Vienna Tango School with my amazing business partner, Amanda Garley, and my husband, John. So we launched it. We 3-teach, and we have classes every Tuesday, 7 p.m. and 8 p.m. 7 o'clock is usually for beginners, and then our 8 p.m. is for dancers with a little bit more experience. And in the last 2 months, we've had 50 students join our classes, and we'll start a new cohort in January for new beginners. But it's been really, really rewarding seeing people discover tango. It's one thing to learn the skill and to do it and to find joy in it, but it's another thing to watch as they're like, oh, this does that, and oh, that's how I do it. So I'm very much like a proud mama right now.
Oh, yes. Can you tell Eric that website for people so they can go to?
Yes, absolutely. So they can go to just viennatango.com. Vienna, not the cool European Vienna, but the Virginia one, Vienna, tango.com.
Which is very cool, actually. And you're there teaching with grace and charisma and perfectionism and attention to detail and caring about the person. Hey, guys, maybe I'll see you on the tango floor. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness. You do stuff for community work, and you were recently in Washington, D.C. for an event that you were very proud of being a part of. Why don't you shed a little light on that one?
So it's two things. One, I am a member of the Vienna Rotary, and we hold, I'm also the vice chair for Viva Vienna, which is, I think now it is the largest festival in Virginia proper during the summertime. So like, we have carnival rides and there's a brew fest and everything, and all of the proceeds go to charity. So last year we were able to raise over 200 and I think $88,000 in the course of 3 days that will all go to local charities and a couple of international charities that are nominated by our Vienna Rotary, and a very like strict nominations process. And then on the business end, so I was just in Washington, D.C. I was leading a meeting with Walkinshaw, who is my representative, Senator Kane, and then a staffer for Warner, just talking about the impact of what's happening in the local area on small businesses, and then also what the priorities for small businesses are. Because I was part of the 10,000 Small Businesses program with Goldman Sachs, which if you are an entrepreneur and you have one employee and $70,000 of revenue, I highly recommend doing this program. It connects you to this amazing network of other small businesses. So far, it's 17,000 strong. And they represent over $23 billion of revenue in the United States. So to have this voice behind us, we went to the representatives and we said, all of the businesses were polled, and there were 5 key issues we wanted to talk about, just to bring those to light and to talk about, what they could do to help small businesses, because the corporations, they get a lot of help from the government. Do they need it? Where the small mom and pop shops really are what help impact our economy and drive local economies. And we need a little bit more help sometimes than those bigger corporations. So it was an incredible conversation with all 3 of our representatives and senators. And I'm really hopeful and optimistic after being in DC and talking with all of these businesses, and really very invigorated after that.
Fabulous. Isn't that wonderful? So what are you guys doing in your community? Come check this out. Small businesses are everywhere, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, go support them, especially now, especially if you are in an area that is impacted by this, either the shutdowns or what's been happening in the federal government. Please go support those businesses, because there are a lot of restaurants, there are a lot of shops that really are like 20% down and have to fire people. One of the people that I was speaking with at this event had let go 30 employees. So like, these are people's real livelihoods that are impacted. So if you're doing okay, please go support the small businesses over the larger chains.
Got it. There's always something that we can be doing.
Yes.
And what's next for your studio? What other new offerings do you have coming on?
So we are starting enrollment tomorrow, and if Sasha's watching this, I hope she doesn't kick me, because I'm like, we're launching it tomorrow, our 50 over 50, where we are looking for 50 women. They can either nominate themselves or their friends.
I'll nominate myself right now.
And then you can come do a session, and there will be a book. This will be volume 2, and we just ask that they share wisdom for the younger generation as part of this. So that's our next initiative. And then we're kicking around an idea where we have people put on that power suit and their makeup that they would wear for that big interview. And then they come in and we will slowly take it off and show something completely stripped down. Ooh. So I think that we'll be working on that over the next year.
Very, very, very exciting. Let's put up your website again. It goes Tango Tuesdays, 7 for beginners, 8 p.m. if you're in the area. If not, there are tango studios and places to dance, all kinds of dance all over the universe.
Yes, absolutely.
So go sign up and get that done. Let's see, for your last question of the evening, for people who are nervous about being photographed, what's your go-to way to turn jitters into genuine smiles?
Breathe. Just breathe. Like, we get anxious, we tense up, we stop breathing. The biggest thing is to remember, just keep breathing, and that you are totally perfect the way that you are, and find a good photographer. Good photographer. It will make a difference, and it is a good investment if you do.
And let's see, how can you involve in the future? You're going to have all this going on and make it into a wellness retreat too? Therapy infused workshop while you get your picture taken?
I mean, I would be down for that. That would be amazing. To do a transformation throughout the time of how you felt coming in and how you feel leaving, like on top of the world. That's a good idea.
Ooh, well, thank you. I am on top of the world with this wonderful interview. You share it out, give it to your friends. Come and check her out. Go get your pictures taken. Save your legacy. Save your family from having to go through pictures, trying to find pictures when they are in grief. Make it easy.
Yes.
Share this out. Join me next Wednesday at 7 p.m. for the Cynthia Manion Show, where all of my guests are my personal friends, and I love them, and I want to share them with you so that you can also gather their goodness and find out what you can do to improve yourself, because everyone's got a little something that you didn't know. So enjoy it. Be your best self and have a good week. See you next week. Thank you so much. And please subscribe to the Cynthia Manion Show. Thank you so much. You're fabulous. Yeah.
Thank you.